What's up, guys? Tyler here. Welcome back to a brand new video and happy 20th anniversary. It's the 4-year-old version. So this will be my 4-year-old version 20th anniversary special. So as always, let's get into it. So obviously I'll talk about this movie here. So they didn't really put much merchandise out for this movie or hardly in at all. Or probably a few promo shirts, stuff like that. But I just had the duties, so I'll just talk about the film, a lot of things I like and I think as a positive message. So I went back to 2005, so this is actually the first radar film I ever watched when I was a kid. Yeah, I know. Yeah, my mom was too happy about that. I remember, I'll never forget, I watched it with my uncle. I was 8, and I have a lot of fun memories watching this film because I just remember seeing the collectibles Andy had, his room, stuff like that. I was just thinking, that's gonna be me someday, and fast forward 20 years later, you have all this. So it basically is me in a way. So, I really like how the DVD. It's got this nice, cool, full effect, so that's pretty cool. And it's even like that for the disc, which is pretty cool. So, but this is one of my favorite movies of all time, and by far one of the best adult comedies of the early 2000s, without a doubt. So, this is actually the first movie I watched. Had Steve Carell in it, so every time I see him, this is what I know him for. First film I think about, and then after that, it's Despicable Me and Crazy Stupid Love and much other stuff like that. But yeah, getting back to the film, started seeing all the collectibles he had, and I remember he had the Asia poster up. Back then, I didn't know who Asia was. I know now they're '80s rock band, and honestly, that is the most random thing that he has in his entire place. Out of all the things he could have, uh, I remember watching the movie. I was thinking to myself that the message throughout the movie is he may be a virgin, but it's never too late. And with that, it's never too late to do anything in general. He may be a virgin at 40, but ever since he met Trish, a lot of good things have been happening in his life. And when his co-workers at what's it called, I forgot the name of the place he works at, but anyway, when they find out they use a version, they try to help him, get laid and stuff like that. But I think it's pretty cool how he really develops over time, and you see him as this like shy 40-year-old man, stuff like that. And I really think it's pretty cool. It's nice to see him develop over the film as time goes on, and he meets Trish, gets with her, and of course the pressure of him being a virgin, of him not telling her, stuff like that. So, and basically all the things he goes through, especially with his co-workers helping him out. And of course, we got a lot of good other actors in the film, including Seth Rogen, Paul Rudd. Man, that man does not age. Of course, Elizabeth Banks, Leslie Mann, and of course a young Jonah Hill. So that was pretty cool. And he basically he gets to a point in his life where he doesn't care if he's a virgin, and the way he gives up, and you see it throughout the film when you watch it. He basically explains that it just never happened, stuff like that. He didn't really make it a big priority. When he meets Trish, he has this, it's like this pressure, being a virgin, kind of it kind of boils up again, and he's afraid that she won't love him for that or whatever. So, of course, by the end of the film answer turns out to be different. So, but I just like the message of the film, and I will admit, him being 40, him being a comic book fan he is, or a fan of anything like video games, stuff like that, I will admit, uh, back in his generation, I don't think a lot of women would found that attractive. Now, I can't speak for the women back then, but fast forward to my generation, I found it funny how it's more accepted to be like a collector or comic fan or video game fan and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool. So in a way that works in my favor, but really love the message of the film. The message of the film is never too late to do anything. Because of that, the film, his friends kind of help him out. He meets Trish. Eventually, she helps him sell some stuff on eBay, and eventually he opens his own store, and he sells a lot of stuff. That's how he's able to get the store, and eventually he marries Trish. So basically, life has worked out for him, and yet he's had a better life, than I guess most of his life. Let's see, his life changes for the better. That's what I'm trying to say. So I really like how that plays out through the film, but for sure, I don't one of the best comedies of the early 2000s. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. So, but that's all for this video, guys. Oh, I want to mention that I am going to go see it in theaters because they are putting it back in theaters this Friday, so that's pretty cool. So I'm very looking forward to that. I wish it would be the unrated version because, in my opinion, the unrated version is a little bit better. I like how they added this where it says so last 17 minutes longer. That's pretty cool. So, but anyway, so that's all for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Later, guys.